While the modern world depends on factories, systems, and mass production, there are still communities that survive in completely different ways. The Datoga create tools, trade goods, and sustain their lives through craftsmanship. Meanwhile, the Hadzabe step directly into nature, hunting and living off whatever they can obtain each day. One side survives through hands that shape tools. The other survives through footsteps, instinct, and knowledge passed down through generations. Though their lifestyles are very different, both communities show that people can still rely on skill, community, and nature to preserve their identity. In the semi-arid lands of Tanzania, the Datoga people survive in a way entirely different from the neighboring hunter-gatherer tribes. They do not chase prey. Instead, they create the tools that allow others to do so. A Datoga village appears as a cluster of low houses built from wood, mud, and animal dung. Inside, the space is divided for each family member. Several generations live under the same roof, yet personal boundaries are still respected, something not every traditional society maintains. The lives of the Datoga revolve around two central things: livestock and metal. Women are responsible for grinding corn, cooking meals, and caring for the family. Meanwhile, the men leave the village carrying the products they have made, traveling to markets to trade livestock or sell the tools they create.
There's more flames. Yes.
But the true identity of the Datoga is not found in cattle herding. It is found in fire. In another corner of the village, small furnaces burn constantly. Charcoal is ignited, the heat slowly rises, and metal begins to transform. The Datoga collect old scrap metal, melt it down, and reshape it into new tools. No machines. No industrial molds. Everything is crafted entirely by hand, using techniques passed through generations. The Datoga are not simply blacksmiths. They are part of a much larger survival ecosystem. The arrowheads they forge are traded to hunting tribes such as the Hadzabe, people who survive entirely by finding food in the wild. In return, the Datoga receive meat, hides, and animal products. One side crafts, the other hunts. Two very different communities connected by practical needs. Even though the Datoga do not hunt directly, they still understand the value of food preservation. When they obtain meat, they do not consume it immediately. The meat is cut into strips, hung above smoke inside their homes, and preserved carefully. It is a method designed to extend food supplies in a world without refrigerators or modern storage systems. Another detail easily noticed on Datoga faces is the presence of small scars across the forehead and around the eyes. These marks are made during childhood. To them, the scars are not decoration. They are a form of protection, a belief that the markings help preserve eyesight and prevent illness. As the sun begins to disappear, the sounds of the village slowly change. The noise of metalwork and labor fades away, replaced by songs and rhythmic dancing. If the Datoga represents stability through settlement, storage, and craftsmanship, then one of their neighbors, the Hadzabe, represents almost the complete opposite. The Hadzabe do not remain in one place. They move with the seasons, following water sources and animal tracks. Their day begins long before sunrise reaches the Tanzanian plains. Before anything else, they read the ground. A fresh footprint pressed into the sand. Grass bent in an unusual direction. These small details are enough to tell them where the prey traveled, how long ago it passed, and how far away it might still be. Along the journey, whenever small birds enter range, arrows are released immediately. No food source is ignored no matter how small. And when an arrow becomes stuck high in a tree branch, the Hadzabe never abandon it. They climb, search, and retrieve it even if it costs extra time and effort. Every arrow matters. Nothing is wasted. Distance is measured. Wind direction is carefully read. Then the kudu appears. The bowstring tightens slowly, no panic, no hesitation. The arrow flies. The poison coating the tip begins to work, and after a short run, the kudu collapses. The hunt is over. The animal is carried back. Not back to a house, but back to the community. Once the prey arrives, everyone takes part in processing it. Meat is roasted directly over open fire. No complex seasoning. No recipes. Only fire and time. The meal begins almost immediately afterward. Everyone sits together and shares the food equally. No one keeps a private portion. There is no concept of long-term storage. For the Hadzabe, food belongs to the present moment. Beyond hunting, they also gather food from nature. Baobab fruit, honey, and underground tubers are all important sources of nutrition. Honey in particular is not just food, it is an extremely valuable source of energy during difficult times. One side survives through crafting, trade, and storage. The other survives through hunting, movement, and consuming what is obtained each day. Yet despite these seemingly opposite lifestyles, a connection still exists between them. The Datoga create the tools. The Hadzabe use them. One cannot completely replace the other, and both continue to exist within the same ecosystem. This is not merely survival. It is culture, identity, and pride in the way their ancestors once lived in harmony with the land and the natural world.